Imagine finding a small 50 paise coin that most people would completely ignore, only to discover that collectors may be interested in it for reasons hidden in its date, mint mark, condition, and possible variations. Today, we are looking at a 1998 Indian 50 paise coin, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but one that has attracted attention from people interested in old Indian coins. Some claims online have placed exceptional examples at values as high as $4,000. But is every 1998 50 paise coin really worth thousands of dollars? Absolutely not. The real story is much more interesting because the value of a coin depends on several important details that most people never check. So before you spend your old coins or throw them away, stay with us, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for on a 1998 Indian 50 paise coin. The coin we are examining today is an Indian 50 paise coin dated 1998. 50 paise was an important denomination in India's decimal coinage system, representing half of 1 Indian rupee. For many years, coins like this were commonly used in everyday transactions. They could be found in markets, shops, public transportation, and household coin collections. Because these coins were so common in daily life, many people never imagined that decades later collectors might examine them carefully for their date, mint mark, condition, and unusual characteristics. When you look closely at this particular coin, the first thing you should notice is the denomination side. The large number 50 makes the denomination immediately recognizable, while the Indian national emblem appears above it. The inscriptions around the design identify India and the denomination. On the other side, the coin carries the 1998 date, along with a design associated with India's national and cultural imagery. Every part of the design has a purpose, and these details can help collectors identify the exact type of coin they are holding. But here is where things become interesting. The date alone does not automatically make a coin rare. A 1998 50 paise coin is not automatically a $4,000 coin simply because it is from 1998. In the world of collecting, rarity is determined by much more than age. A coin can be old but common, while another coin from a similar period can be considerably more desirable because of a scarce minting variety, an unusual era, or exceptional condition. This is why the small mint mark becomes extremely important. If you look near the date on an Indian coin, you may find a tiny symbol or letter that indicates where the coin was produced. Depending on the coin and mint, these marks can help collectors distinguish between different issues. On a small 50 paise coin, the mint mark can be easy to overlook, especially when the coin has been circulated for many years. A tiny mark that seems insignificant to an ordinary person can be an important identification detail for a collector. The next thing to examine is the condition of the coin. Imagine two coins that are exactly the same year and denomination. One has spent years moving from hand to hand, sitting in pockets, drawers, boxes, and cash registers. Its surface is worn, its lettering is weaker, and its original details are less sharp. The second coin was carefully preserved and has much stronger original detail. Even though both coins are technically the same issue, collectors may value them very differently. This is one of the most important lessons for anyone searching for valuable old coins. Condition matters. Scratches, heavy wear, corrosion, cleaning, discoloration, dents, and damage can all affect collector interest. On the other hand, a coin with strong details and attractive original surfaces can be much more interesting to collectors. And there is another factor that can completely change the story. Errors. Coins are manufactured through a complicated minting process. Blanks have to be prepared, dies have to be made and installed correctly, and the coin must be struck with the correct pressure and alignment. When something goes wrong during production, an unusual error can sometimes appear. Depending on the type and rarity of the error, collectors may pay significant premiums for a genuine mint error. Possible areas collectors examine include unusual doubling, off-center strikes, die problems, incorrect planchets, striking abnormalities, or other manufacturing characteristics. However, there is a very important warning here. Not every unusual-looking mark is a mint error. A scratch caused after the coin left the mint is not the same thing as a genuine minting error. Damage from circulation, cleaning, tools, chemicals, or other objects can create appearances that may look unusual but have little or no premium value. That is why authentication matters. If someone tells you that your 1998 50 paise coin is worth $4,000, do not immediately believe the claim. Ask why. What exactly makes the coin valuable? Is there a verified rare variety? Is there a genuine mint error? Is the coin in an exceptional grade? Is there documented auction evidence for comparable examples? Without answers to questions like these, a large price claim should be treated carefully. The $4,000 figure associated with a coin like this should therefore be understood as a claimed or potential high-end figure, not as the normal value of every 1998 50 paise coin. The overwhelming majority of ordinary circulated coins do not suddenly become worth thousands of dollars simply because a video or social media post gives them a huge price. This distinction is extremely important because old coin videos on the internet sometimes show dramatic prices without explaining the conditions behind those prices. A rare specimen, an unusual error, or a professionally authenticated example can be very different from an ordinary circulated coin found in a drawer. Now let's imagine you have a 1998 50 paise coin in your own collection. What should you do? First, do not clean it. This may sound surprising, especially if the coin looks dark, dirty, or discolored. Many people think cleaning will make an old coin look better. In reality, aggressive cleaning can damage the original surface and potentially reduce collector interest. Collectors generally want to see the coin's original surfaces rather than scratches created by polishing or harsh cleaning. Next, inspect both sides under good lighting. Look at the date. Confirm that it really says 1998. Then examine the area around the date for the mint mark. Take your time. Small details can be difficult to see, especially on circulated coins. After that, examine the lettering and design. Are the details sharp or heavily worn? Do any letters appear unusually doubled? Does the design appear properly centered? Is the edge normal? Does the coin have unusual damage or an unusual manufacturing characteristic? Then compare the coin with reliable references and, if the coin appears genuinely unusual, consider getting it examined by an experienced numismatist or reputable grading and authentication service. Another important point is that photographs can sometimes be misleading. Lighting, camera focus, shadows, reflections, and image enhancement can make ordinary marks appear much more dramatic than they really are. A professional examination can help separate a genuine variety or error from normal circulation damage. The history behind the coin is also worth appreciating. Coins are more than pieces of metal. They are small records of the economic and political environment in which they were produced. A 1998 Indian coin represents a particular period in India's modern monetary history. It passed through an economy that was changing rapidly, and many examples were used by ordinary people in everyday transactions. Think about that for a moment. A small coin that might look insignificant today could have passed through hundreds of hands during its lifetime. It might have been used in a shop, carried in someone's pocket, placed in a household container, or eventually forgotten in a drawer. That history is part of what makes collecting fascinating. For collectors, the story becomes even more interesting when a normal-looking coin turns out to have an unusual characteristic. That is where research begins. Instead of simply asking, "How old is this coin?" collectors ask much better questions. Where was it minted? How many were produced? What varieties exist? Are there recognized errors? What condition is the coin in? Has a comparable specimen sold publicly? And is the claimed value supported by actual market evidence? Those questions are much more useful than simply searching for a large dollar figure. There is also an important difference between an asking price and a selling price. Someone can list a coin online for thousands of dollars, but that does not mean someone actually paid that amount. Genuine market value is better understood through credible transactions, auction records, dealer experience, and recognized grading information. So when you see a headline saying that an old 50 paise coin is worth $4,000, remember that the headline is only the beginning of the investigation. The real question is, what makes that particular coin different? Could it be an extremely rare variety? Could it contain a genuine minting error? Could it have an unusual mint mark? Could it be in an exceptionally preserved condition? Or could the high price simply be an unsupported internet claim? These are the questions that separate serious coin collecting from simple internet rumors. Another mistake people make is assuming that every coin with an unusual appearance is valuable. For example, discoloration does not automatically mean rarity. Scratches do not automatically mean an error. A damaged edge does not automatically make a coin collectible. Even doubling-like features can sometimes be caused by wear, photography, or mechanical damage rather than the original minting process. This is why patience is one of the most valuable tools a coin collector can have. Do not rush to sell. Do not rush to clean. Do not rush to believe a huge valuation. First, identify the coin properly. If you have several 1998 50 paise coins, compare them carefully. Look for differences in mint marks, lettering, design details, surfaces, and overall condition. Sometimes comparing multiple examples makes an unusual feature much easier to recognize. And if you believe you have something genuinely rare, document it. Take clear photographs of the front, back, edge, date, mint mark area, and any unusual feature. Keep the coins safely stored and seek an informed opinion. The most exciting part of collecting is not simply finding a high price. It is discovering the story behind the object. A 50 paise coin may have a face value of only half a rupee, but its collector story can be far more complicated. The date, mint, production characteristics, condition, and history can all contribute to its desirability. And in exceptional cases, a rare variety or genuine mint error can make an otherwise ordinary denomination much more interesting. So, could a 1998 Indian 50 paise coin be worth $4,000? An exceptional example could potentially attract a much higher value than an ordinary circulated coin. But you should never assume that every 1998 50 paise coin is worth $4,000. The exact value depends on identification, rarity, condition, authenticity, and actual market demand. A serious valuation requires evidence. That is the real secret behind valuable old coins. The value is not hiding simply in the number printed on the coin. It is hiding in the details, so the next time you see an old 50 paise coin sitting inside a box, drawer, wallet, or family collection, don't throw it away without looking carefully. Turn it over. Check the date. Search for the mint mark. Study the design. Examine the condition. Look for genuine varieties and errors. And most importantly, verify the information before believing an unbelievable price, because sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference. And if you enjoyed this journey into the story of the 1998 Indian 50 paise coin, make sure you stay connected with our channel for more fascinating discoveries from the world of old coins. There are millions of coins sitting in collections around the world, and many of them have stories that most people have never heard. Remember, an old coin is not automatically a valuable coin, but a rare detail, a genuine error, exceptional condition, or documented scarcity can completely change the story. So check your coins carefully, research before you sell, and never judge a coin only by its size or face value. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more old coin discoveries, hidden varieties, fascinating history, and the stories behind the coins that have survived for generations.